What? What you doing? Gentle. Good boy. Last one. Good stuff, huh? Look, show me your face. Show me your face. Oh, can you get that? I'm moving that. That's from last night. I tried to do this video once and it was a mess. My hair was a mess, more of a mess than what it is right now. And I dropped wine all over the ground. So I did not like the video, so I'm refilming today. I'm just gonna jump right into this. This is my first Q&A, armor related questions. If I have any more questions or if I miss your question, just leave it in the comments down below and I'll try to answer it. If I have enough questions, then I'll just go ahead and make a second Q&A. So if you are wondering about basic training, AIT, and everything in between, just keep watching. All right, so I started off by writing all of my questions down. And then I realized that it was way too much to write. I got to question number 20 and I just started screenshotting. So you'll see later on I'll be reading them off my phone. But I'm going to start on here. My first question is, how many calls do you get during basic and what day do you call? Like Sundays, question mark. Okay, so it's different for every company. I just want to start off by saying real quick before I even go into this question that everything that I'm answering, it's going to be different. Everyone has a different situation. Everyone's in a different battalion or a different company. So even if you are in the same battalion, I was in Echo Company 360th and my experience was still different than people in the same battalion but in Delta Company. So just know that any answers that I give you, it's not right or wrong, it's just my experience. And then if anyone else is telling you something different, they're not lying to you, they're not wrong, it's just their experience. Okay, so phone calls, we got a good bit, not a good bit, but a good bit for basic training, like from what I've heard from other people. We probably got, throughout the whole 10 weeks, I want to say like 6 or 7 phone calls. And that is towards the end too. We got multiple, and that's because we won something. I'm not sure what it was. It was a competition between different companies, and we got an extra phone call for that. And then my company got an extra phone call for winning like I think it was like having like the highest marksmanship qualification. So it's gonna vary, but we also got a phone call at the end to call our parents or our family and tell them that what time graduation was and where to go and all the details for that. But that's not everyone's case. Not everyone's going to get that many phone calls. I think we just got really lucky. What shots do you need? I don't know exactly what shots you need. I just know that it's a lot. I was enrolled in college, so I already had a lot of shots, and I still had to get, I want to say like 4 in one arm and 3 in the other the first go round at reception. And then at the end of basic training, they brought us back to 120th, back to reception, and I had to get 2 more shots. It was like the second session of the first shots that I got. So if you can, just try to be as up to date as possible on everything. You know, go to your doctor and find out from them. That way you're not having to get it there, because it sucks. They're not gentle at all. You're literally, to me, it reminded me of like cattle getting stamped. You're in a line and you're going through and they're just stabbing you with these needles. Can you bring a portable charger? Yes, you can. If you bring it to basic, pretty much you're just going to put all of your electronics. If you have like big electronics, which I'll get into that later, but they'll go in your personal bag. But as far as your cell phone, your charger, headphones, stuff like that, they'll just go in a Ziploc bag. And then for us, they put it in a crate, and then they locked our crates up. And every time we'd get a phone call, they just bring those crates out and hand out the phones. I definitely suggest bringing a portable charger. That way you can have your phone charged at all times, because if you go to make a phone call and your phone's dead, they don't care. They don't care that it's taken you 5 minutes for your phone to come on. You only get a 10-minute phone call. Therefore, you're down to 5 minutes. So definitely suggest bringing one. Make sure that your phone is on 100% and then turn it off once you put it in the crate. Do I need to bring toiletries to reception? Yes, but all travel size, I would say. I threw out everything at reception because they make you buy it at the shop there before you leave for basic. So I would just bring a portable shampoo and conditioner and just very portable travel size shampoo and conditioner and just very minimal things. Definitely bring shower shoes. You're gonna get some there that they make you wear, but you're not gonna get it. Or for us, I didn't get it until like day 2. So you definitely want to have some shower shoes to shower, you know, those 2 days before you get to go to the shop. Where and how did you study for the Asvab? I got this book, Asvab for Dummies, and I got this at Books A Million. It helped a lot. I didn't study as much as I should have, and I still did pretty decent on the Asvab. Sure, there's 2. So this one comes with online exams, so you log in and you create an account, and you can take practice tests, and I will say that a lot of the questions that were on those practice tests were very similar, if not the exact same as what I saw on the actual Asvab. So I definitely suggest this. Get the online version. And if anyone wants this, I'm not going to use it anymore. So if you just want to leave your contact information down below, and I will gladly mail this off to you. $29.99, so 30 bucks. Someone was asking about the sizes for OCPs because I did mention it in my last video. I don't know if I probably wasn't that clear about it, but they're going to ask you, they put you in this machine, which is to get your measurements, and it's pretty much just a waste because once you get in there, the ladies just ask you how much do you weigh, and off of your weight, they just throw you a uniform and they don't care if it fits or not. So I definitely suggest lying about your weight. I lied, I want to say about like 10 or 15 pounds probably. I would lie even more than that if I could go back because my OCPs are still huge on me. I would lie like a 30, 40 pounds. I'm not, it sounds dramatic, but if not, you're going to end up with really large OCP. And we use cell phones at BCT or reception. So I already went over at basic training. As far as reception, it's going to be different because people that I was with, but different companies, they got their phones taken away like the second day that they got to reception. And that's because people were posting selfies in their uniform and then saying like #ArmyLife. Like, what? You've been at reception for a whole 24 hours. Like, what? Don't do that. Don't ruin it for everyone. Don't bring your phones to formations or to chow. Get them taken away for everyone. We got to keep ours the whole time. So I had mine all throughout reception, which is a week long. And then once we got to basic, we still had them on us. And then we just made our phone calls at basic, you know, saying, hey, I arrived, I'm safe. And then we had to turn them in right after that, and we didn't see them for like a good 3 weeks. So for me, yes, I was able to have it at reception. Someone asked about the different phases. I'm going to do a whole video going over the individual phases and what to expect, but pretty much just know that there are red, white, and blue phase. And your first phase is red phase. It's pretty much like hell weeks, 3 weeks. You're getting smoked the most. You're adjusting. It's really like a culture shock. Phase 2 is white phase, and that is pretty much you're at the range every day. And then the final phase is blue phase. You're doing your forge. You're getting ready to graduate and all that good stuff. I actually made a calendar while I was at basic training of everything I was doing every single day. So that'll be a whole nother video. Am I allowed to wear a watch during BCT? Yes, you are. It has to be all black. No smartwatches, obviously, just an all black. You can get one from Walmart or Target, Amazon. When did you get your laptop slash tablet? So for this, you can do a couple different things. You can bring it with you to basic and you can keep it in your personal bag. It'll be locked away until you're ready to use it. But I don't suggest doing that only because someone's phone, you know, I said our phones are locked away as well. Someone's phone got stolen. And, you know, they had to reimburse him for it, but he still lost all of his pictures. So I don't suggest doing that just because you don't know who's in there and it's a lot of people in and out. I just had my husband bring me my laptop on family day, graduation day, and I brought it with me to AIT. And then once you get to AIT, you can buy laptops or iPads or whatever it is. There's a GameStop inside of the, buy any tablets that you need. They have used cell phones. I bought a used iPad, and that's because at reception you do get your, at AIT you do get your phone taken away for the first couple of weeks. So I had that iPad and I was able to communicate just like I would a cell phone. That was really nice. If you don't have family coming to family day or graduation, you can always mail it to yourself. So, or you can get a family member to mail it to you, or if you want to order something new, you can. That's going to be my next question, actually. Can you order stuff at AIT? And the answer is yes, you can order anything you want at AIT as long as it is not considered contraband and you are allowed to have. How did you deal with mixed personalities in one room from a female perspective? How was that experience? It was difficult. 50 or so girls, you know, to deal with at once is a lot of different personalities. Everyone's from different places. you end up syncing up on your cycle, so it's a really bad. So it's a lot, but again, just remember you're there for 10 weeks. You only have to be with these people for 10 weeks, and then you go home. You never see them again, unless you make friends. That happens too, and you can stay in contact with them. But as far as, the ones that are difficult to deal with, just know that, just ignore it and just stay under the radar, because it's not worth. I was in some stuff, and it's just not worth it. How was basic? Again, just really difficult. It's mental. It's all mental, and I'll get further into that. Can you have a retainer at basic? Yes, you can. Can you wear makeup in AIT? Yes, very, very little. I'll leave a picture right here. Less than what I have on right now, obviously. Just your basic foundation, mascara, maybe a little bit of eyebrows, and a chapstick. That's about it. Do you guys get your phone and PC 24/7 in AIT? Yes and no. So I already went over the phone situation, how you get it taken and then given it back, but you aren't allowed to bring it to class. So you should leave your tablets or your phones, whatever it is, in your room until you are done with class. You go to class Monday through Friday. You have the weekends are free. So those couple of hours, just leave it at home. It's not worth getting caught at class and then getting it taken away for a couple weeks. Leave it locked up whenever it is in your room, because if not, the drill sergeants will come in there and take it. Are you allowed to have civilian clothes in AIT? Yes. They didn't care that we had them in our rooms. We could not wear them until the day after. We weren't even supposed to change after graduation at AIT. We were supposed to change somewhere else, so we ended up changing at the airport. But if you are, or for my company, the active duty people who were going to their actual stations and not going home, they were able to change to civilian clothes, but we had to stay in our dress blues until we got to the airport and changed. However, though, for gold passes, which are your passes where you go off post, you are allowed to wear civilian clothes if you have been there for a long time. So my AIT was only 6 weeks. Therefore, I only had one gold pass, and on that gold pass, I had to wear OCPs, but everyone on the ordnance side, all of their passes that were gold, they got to wear regular civilian clothes. Are you allowed to bring a small makeup bag at basic? So again, it's going to depend on your company. Some people kept theirs and they didn't get caught with it. And then it's another question. It's actually was asking if we were allowed to wear it for graduation. My company didn't care, but my company was the only one who didn't care. No one else is allowed to wear it. And again, like mascara, and that's it. But they did have a girl get caught with foundation. She was wearing foundation like every day the first couple of days at basic training. No one else could tell, but I do makeup. I could tell. But yeah, she was wearing it. She ended up getting caught, getting thrown out, and she got a counseling statement for it. It's just not worth it. You're sweating all the time anyways. You don't want makeup on your face. Someone asked, where's my first duty station? I am reserve, so I am at home. I don't have a duty station. I just have a unit, and that is in Illinois, which is where I'm heading to today for my first ever drill weekend. I'm kind of nervous. We'll see how that goes. Maybe I'll do a vlog on that. Who knows? And I'm going to move over to the questions that I just ended up screenshotting because I got too lazy to write down. The first question is, I'm thinking of enlisting. I do have a husband and a baby. I'm joining for reasons that would help my family, but I feel like I would be too into my emotions about leaving them, but I am also doing it for them. Does this make me a bad mother or wife? Were there other women like this at basic or in AIT? Yes, 100%. There, versus does not make anyone a bad mother or wife or daughter, sister, for leaving your family members. It does not make you a bad person. You're doing it to better yourself, your future, or you're doing it for them. So just keep that in mind. Yes, there are so many, such a wide range of people at basic and at AIT. I was thinking, I'm 24 at the time. I was 23. I was thinking, I was going to be one of the oldest ones. That was not the case. They had, 17 and 18-year-olds who had just graduated high school. Then they had 20s as myself, people who are in college or done with college, and then they also had people in their 30s who had full families at home. And just know that you're doing it for them, you're doing it to better yourself, and don't let the emotional aspect of that affect you from going and doing what you need to do. Next question, random question, will you do a field vlog one day? I would love to do a field vlog. I don't know how possible it's going to be. I haven't even been to drill yet. So if it's possible, then yes, I'll definitely do one. I think it'd be interesting to see, but I'm not sure how often I'm going to be able to be on my phone. So possibly. Were you an ordnance island or quartermaster? I was quartermaster, and they're just asking, at AIT, it's split into two sections. So one side of AIT is quartermaster and the other side is ordnance. From what I've heard and what I've experienced, quartermaster is a little bit more strict than ordnance. My friends that were in ordnance had a lot more freedom. They had were able to wear civilian clothes on their passes, but they were also there longer. So quartermaster, you know, you're getting treated a little bit worse. It's a little bit stricter. Your buildings are also older. I had to go to the ordnance side for a physical therapy appointment, and I got to eat over there, and their chow hall was way nicer. Their buildings were way more up to date, but I will take older buildings and being a little bit stricter so I can get out of there a little bit sooner, because everyone that I know is an ordnance side was there for a good bit longer than me. Another question is, can you make a video on marriage in the military and how the process has been so far? I'm not active duty, I'm reserve, so there's not much to talk about as far as marriage in the military. I can say, you know, the only thing I've really had to deal with was the insurance aspect, and it was really easy. I don't know if anyone has specific questions about that. Jared A. Ramos asked this question, so if there's any more detailed questions that you want to know, ask me and I can see if I can answer those for you. But as far as me, all I've had to deal with is getting insurance coverage. My husband has type 1 diabetes, so as soon as I left for basic, he was able to do all of that himself without even me needing me to call or anything like that. Obviously, I was at basic, I couldn't call, but all he needed was my social security number and information, and it was really easy to get set up. Let's see, it's a silly question, but what are the rules with contacts at basic camp? I know basic training, they aren't allowed. So I think I'm assuming basic camp, she's meaning reception maybe. So whenever you get there, I wouldn't suggest bringing contacts, just bring your glasses and you can put them in your personal bag, because your contacts, they're just gonna sit there. You can't use them. I went over this in my last video, but pretty much what they do is they do your eye exam, and if you need glasses, they will send your prescription, and it takes I want to say only 2 or 3 days whenever they ended up having everyone's lenses done. But the lenses are actually inserts, and they get inserted inside of your eye pro, and they look really silly. So I'm gonna leave a picture so you know what I'm talking about, but pretty much you have to wear those all throughout basic. And then for our company, I think the week before graduation, maybe 2 weeks before graduation, they were able to wear the Army issued glasses, and they're just plain square black lenses. Do you have any advice on how to increase my run time, push-ups, sit-ups, and also how long was your 2-mile before and after basic? So I don't know what exactly my time was. My ending time at AIT was a 16-minute. My lowest that I had gotten at basic was a 15:40, which is decent. But before, I know that it was really high. It was probably a 20-minute 2 miles. So just know that you will improve, and that's the same for your sit-ups and push-ups. As long as you're doing them consistently, which you will be doing at basic, they're gonna prepare you. You don't have to worry about that. You're gonna be doing more push-ups than you are walking. But as far as before basic training, you're just preparing yourself. Like I said, doing them as much as you can. Maybe going to the gym, lifting weights, getting your upper body and your core, and you should be good to go. I had a really strange message from a guy asking, saying that his brother was at Fort Jackson and had been there since July 15th, so July of last year. And I thought that was they hadn't heard from him at all. They were trying to get in touch with him and couldn't. And to me, that's really strange. If that was my family, I think I'd be riding up there if I couldn't get in touch with anyone. So if this is anyone's situation, try to get in contact with Fort Jackson. I'm gonna leave their phone number down below in case you need it or anyone needs it. But yeah, explain how you would move from basic training to AIT to finally being stationed, because I don't understand that process whatsoever. And then also, if your parents or loved ones get their flights paid for to see you at graduation. And then they also asked about what to bring, which I'll do a separate video on that. But as far as your parents' flights being paid for, they are not paid for. The only flight that's paid for is yours, and that's just to get to and from basic, and then to AIT, and then to your duty station. We went home. I was a VBL cycle, so we went home for Christmas, and we were responsible for paying those flights. So they definitely don't pay for your parents or your family members to come to graduation or a family day. They explained from going to basic to AIT. So For me, I was POV, which meant that I was leaving with a family member. You can go POV or GOV. GOV is where they provide transportation. So anyone who was going from Jackson to Lee, they took a bus. And if you're going further than that, some people had to take a flight, some people on a train. It all just depends on your location. But for me, I went POV, and I just got to leave with my husband the day of graduation day. I got to stay with him in the hotel room, and then the next day we headed to Fort Lee. I thought that I was going to get a weekend pass. That was not the case. That's what I saw all over YouTube, so I was really excited. It's like, oh, I just have to go check in and then I get a pass. Nope, so don't expect one. Ordnance side did get one. Quartermaster, my side did not. So don't get your hopes up about that, because that was a really big bummer. This is a long one, so I'm just going to go down. How bad is basic? Kind of answered this, but it's not easy. It's a culture shock. You're being away from your family and friends. There's absolutely no communication to the outside world whatsoever. But with that being said, it's all mental. I mean, of course, some of it's physical, but the majority is mental, and just getting through those 10 weeks. I suggest just telling yourself it's eventually going to be over. It's a lot easier to say now that I'm not there anymore, but it is difficult. It's mental, and you will get through it. I'm so nervous. I hate being yelled at. You're gonna get yelled at. It's part of it. It sucks. But for me, I would like kind of block it out. Obviously, to an extent, if they were asking me questions, I would obviously respond. I'm not just ignoring them. But as far as them yelling at me just to yell, just know that that's what they're doing. They're trying to break you down. That's what basic training is for. So I would literally like talk, this is so bad, but I would like talk crap about them in my head, and it would make me feel better. I don't know. And do you think I'd get lost in the airport? I've never been in an airport or on a plane. And what do you think I would do to better prepare? Okay, so whenever I got there, they had drill sergeants everywhere at the airport, and just different military personnel where to go. You can also go to the USO, and they'll direct you wherever you need to go as well. If you have any questions, it's not difficult. You literally are with a group of people for the majority of the time. So I was with like 3 or 4 people who had flown in from Memphis to where I was going. So you're all together. It's in a big group, and you don't have to worry about being secluded or getting lost by yourself. I also had a Facebook message. It was from a mom of someone who was going to basic training. And I'm not going to go over the whole message because it was really long, but I just want to say if you are sending a loved one off to basic, just a couple of tips. And number one is don't get frustrated with the mail system. Don't think that they are not writing you. If you are going to basic, don't think that your family's not writing you. I'm sure that they are, but the mail system is trash. I'm not sure for other bases, but Fort Jackson was terrible. We would go, like, I would get 5 letters at one time, and some of them would be from like 4 weeks previously. So don't get frustrated with that. It's really hard because I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, no one's writing me. This really sucks. I'm really sad. Like, don't think that. I'm sure they are. And just the same as if you're sitting at home, don't think that whoever is at basic is not writing you, because like I said, I'm sure they are, but the mail system's just really bad. And there was some pieces that Kyle didn't even get until I had been home, like from AIT. And it's really ridiculous. But that's like one main thing. And then again, as far as graduation and family day, try to get a hotel on base if you can. That way, whoever you are going to see who's in basic training can actually go to the hotel room, because on family day, they are not allowed to leave. Just graduation day, obviously. But it's a lot easier, and it makes it a lot easier on them if they can just go hang out in the hotel room instead of trying to get through, on family day. Fort Jackson is so crowded. There's people everywhere. So I would have much rather, my husband tried to get one on base, but he ended up having to get one like a mile off base. I still had fun. It was fine if you can't get one, but if you know that someone's going to basic, try to find out their graduation date as soon as possible and go ahead and call and book that room. A lot of times they are people who are booking and then they end up canceling. So even if you call and it's already booked, go ahead and just keep calling. I'd suggest every day. Again, just remember that it's over in 10 weeks. That's That's the biggest thing. Just know it's only 10 weeks and then they're back home or you're going back home, whatever it may be. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If there's any more questions, just let me know and I will answer them for you. Look out for a very different video next. And then after that, again, I'm going to get that packing list out and the different phases. Don't forget to like, comment down below and subscribe. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see y'all next time.